Music. Yeah.
Milsurp Garage. All right, we're going to do a little revisit with these NRA Firearms Assembly Handbooks. Handbook, guidebooks, 2 handguns, rifles. I was all confused with these things, actually, because this one is from the early 60s. This one is from the early 70s. So that's why this one says Firearms Assembly Handbook. This one says Assembly 2. They had like different configurations. I wasn't really sure what was going on. So I looked online and I found that, they had revised these books over the years. And they kind of like changed the way they did it. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? I'd love to have a complete set of each. So since this is Firearms Assembly 2, I would need the 70s version of Assembly 1, which I found. So I got that one to complete this series. And since this one is the Firearms Assembly Handbook, and this is like the first in this series, I would have needed the second one. So I found the 60s version of the Volume 2. Okay, so these are the newer ones now. And the reason why I actually wanted both series, by the way, these are the greatest books. People like you and me that are into these older guns, that we don't go to like the, bookstore or buy like the newest magazines on the newest tactical stuff coming out, the newest guns. Might interest us. I'm not saying that you don't pay attention to it at all, but if your interests really lie on this older stuff, these are like gold. Now let me show you the differences between the two. Let's start with the older ones, okay? The older ones, so this is Assembly 1. This is the one that I had. We've seen this. We looked through it not that long ago. It's kind of like falling apart. It's the binding is put together with like the string, and I guess after a while it just starts to degrade. But you know what? As long as the pages aren't actually yellowing and crumbling apart, it's fine. I don't mind if some of it is coming out like this. It's still 100% readable, And what I like about these older ones, what they do is they have in the back is your table of contents on everything. So in here it shows what pistols we're talking about, what revolvers, what rifles, and what shotguns in this entire book. So that is for Volume 1. And then Volume 2, it has in the back here what pistols, revolvers, rifles. And it shows the contents of Volume 1 in here also. I didn't even notice that. So with this one, in Volume 2, it shows you what's in 1 and 2. Well, this is a lot right here. I'm sorry. This is definitely a lot. And like I said, this is the 60s one. So I don't think the books cover the same exact stuff. You'd be like, I don't really need 2. Sure, you could just pick one. You could look, I'm going to show you how these things are configured. And then maybe if you're interested, you could make a decision to pick which you would go for, But so what these have in the columns here on the side that the NRA did is interesting. They have these man to remember things. So here's Samuel Colt, Elijah Root, Horace Dimmick. Wasn't that the Reservoir Dogs? Larry? His name was actually Larry Dimmick. It's the only other place I ever heard that name. William Richards. Don't know who that is. Patrick Ferguson. And it tells you, invented a practical breech-loading flintlock rifle in 1776. There you go. That's who he was. But so it has these pivotal people that it shows in the columns, as well as the gun, you know, when you get, say, here's the Krag, it'll show like a nice exploded view, how to take it apart. You don't really see this often in books. You know, this is something you'd poke onto YouTube to watch videos, which doesn't completely negate the coolness of watching takedown stuff on YouTube, but just having it here all in print, there's a lot of very interesting things in this book, all different kinds of... here's that screw you got to take out here. Someone just recently commented, I did take that screw out. Someone said I don't have to take the 572 apart. You got to take that screw out. I did. I mean, I took the screw out, but it just wouldn't separate. I don't know. I'm not sure if I actually did it on video. That's why I think he saw the screw in and was thinking that I tried to do it right then and there without removing the screw. But it just, I think it was off camera. Just was not takedownable. But in there, it would show you that what your procedure would be. And here, this is the volume 2 book. So this is the one that I just recently acquired. And in number 2, these what do you call it? Margin kinds of things here are on the mag. Look, they even have air pistols in here. Here's a Crossman air pistol. They have magazines, magazine identification guides for different, and it's not for the guns that are on the page, just random stuff. And it's kind of cool. You ever go to a gun show and they just have like piles of magazines and you're like, you know, I would love to get some extras for some of the pistols. I have older stuff, but I don't know what these are. And you ask them, you're like, you have any idea what these are? They'll laugh, you know. They're like, yeah, I had the same bin on my table for 17 years and nobody's bought one because they don't know what they are. But in here, at least you can look. It has measurements. It has exact, like, little marking, little ways to differentiate the little teeny marks that you'd see on them. So this is for a 1905 Colt. So it'll show you exactly how to identify these. Look, just one after another. Magazines, pistol magazines. Gotta love that. Illustrated definitions. I like that too. Here, Browning 1910. Exactly measurements, markings that might be on it. And that's for a book this big. Look at all these pistol magazine little side notes they have in there. I love that. So that's the double set here for the older ones, the 60s ones. All right, and now the 70s versions. So this book 2 is the one I already had. Book 1 is the newer one that I just got. Now these are a little bit different because they break it down in the beginnings of these chapters exactly what rifles or handguns they're showing in the book. And the chapters you can identify by seeing these black lines in the pages. Okay, that are like this black right here. So this is sporting rifles will be first in here. And that'll all be here. Then when you get to the black right there, it would be shotguns. These are the shotguns that it has in here. Then it goes to military arms, which are here. See, so it's broken down a little different, number 1. And I think it just has different stuff. Foreign rifles and foreign shotguns. Interesting, right? So see, there's nothing in the back here. It just says biographical sketches, short articles. It gives you a little index of that kind of stuff. But the way to find out what's inside each chapter is a little bit different. And you're going to see a lot of the same stuff, but I didn't go through it gun for gun. I mean, I could have done that to say, like, these are the ones that are not in the 70s ones, and this is the new added stuff that's in it, or not in it. Maybe they're exactly the same. It's just, the stuff's just moved around. I do not know. But they do have the same, you know, this one has a man to remember stuff. And that'd be, no, well, see, here's Mr. Dimmick, so, or Oliver Winchester. That was not the order of it before, I don't think so. See, maybe there's some different guys. Some are the same, some are different. There's a Remington in here. I saw a Remington. What Remington was that? Eliphalet. Eliphalet. From blacksmith to rifle maker. Eli Fillet. Eliphalet. I don't know what his name is, but boy, the comments are going to tell me. And then over here, same thing. Now this one is like handguns. This is more like rifles only, handguns only. Which I'm not sure if the other book was broken down that way. Were they broken down that way? Just says Assembly Handbook 1 and 2. I guess they were similar. But then here's the pistols, pre-cartridge handguns. Okay, then we go to cartridge handguns. Wow, certainly a lot covered in there. What is this one? No. It's got off the small chapter right here. Oh, this is the air guns, air and gas powered handguns. Foreign handguns. Wow, Dreiser. This is awesome. This is what we're talking about here. This is exactly what this channel is talking about. Yeah, and that's it. That's all she wrote here. The index, similar short articles, biographical sketches, and awesome takedown, exploded diagrams, directions on how to take them apart. Very, very detailed, very, very accurate. You could tell that the people that wrote this, actually messed with these guns. I mean, not just writing articles on them with some pictures. You could tell that they were hands-on. And from a guy that owns these, I'm telling you, they're definitely hands-on. And then, so that's cool to just be able to complete both of those sets. Not a lot of money. These things were like less than $10 a piece, like where I found them. They're not a lot of money, And of course, I still have this Firearms Handling Handbook. I don't have to look if there's any more of these types of older NRA books. You guys have a heads up on any that are kind of cool? Drop them in the comments. I'm going to look for them and buy them. Definitely going to take a quick look around before I post this so you guys don't snatch them all up, all the good ones. Of course, if you wanted to go modern, I don't mean modern guns. I just mean if you want a modern book, you can go with this NRA New Revised and Expanded official NRA Guide to Firearms Assembly for Rifles and Shotguns. They must have a pistol one too. But I think they might use some of the same graphics here that they're using in that older stuff, or maybe it's just revised, but it's basically the same information. Just probably newer stuff, because some of these might not have existed back then. Some of them did, but maybe there's like some newer stuff in here too. Not really jumping on anything newer, but yeah, it probably works its way up to closer to some more modern guns. This one is interesting right here. If you're into this one, let's just put it this way: you might want to stay tuned. All right, that's all I'm going to say, because we're on our Winchester tangent, you know what I mean? We're talking about what Winchester was doing while John Browning was off in Belgium messing around, and we're getting into that kind of stuff. Also, another pickup for the book thing was this K.D. Kirkland, America's Premier Gunmakers box set here. Okay, with, I got some glare going, sorry. With Browning, Colt, Remington, and Winchester. Browning, Colt, Remington, Winchester. 4 separate books. I got this at a gun show super cheap. And they're really awesome. Each book has some gorgeous photos. This is like, you've heard of like gun porn books? See if I can kill that glare. This is like one of those, one of those books. It has a lot of really pretty stuff. But also older. See, like this Browning, this has, this is some older Browning photos. I know you've seen this one, but some of these, like this one, There's some like really old photos in here that they're not very common. Like some of these, and this is his dad. This is Jonathan Browning, not John Browning. That's John Moses Browning's dad, and some real interesting. This starts way early before it even moves into John Moses Browning. And I saw there's a picture of him young, and it was an interesting picture because you don't really see many pictures of him. Here it is, as a young man, John Moses Browning. But I thought that was pretty cool. And then there's pictures like this. I mean, whew, what a beauty! What a beauty this book is. And they're not big books. They're just. Look at the gorgeous photos here. Good job, The Colt, I don't want to give Browning too much attention if you're, like a Colt fan. There's the man right there. And same thing, we're starting at like square one here. You know what I mean? Look where we are at the beginning. Woo! We're talking far back. And we show patent drawings. Wow, patent drawings back then were pretty simple. Looks like it was done by like a 9-year-old. But man, you want to talk about pretty? These are pretty. Yeah, these are cool books. This is good for the collectors. Listen, you could buy a box set like this. Even you're into Remington and Winchesters, but say Colt and Brownings aren't your thing, and you gift the others. But I'm keeping my box set together. But gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous photos. And photos that, a lot of them that I've never really seen before, Here it is, the showdown. This is where we've been. So I'm sure all this information is, all in there. Smokeless powder. The change to smokeless powder brought out a lot of changes. And see, but here we could move into, where Winchester was going without John Browning, because, there's a lot of this stuff on John Browning's guns. But here it starts to go a little further. We get into some more modern stuff. So I'm sure it touches on some, changes. But, yeah, I've been really enjoying this, watching where Winchester was going thing. I got to get the order right now. It's Browning, Colt, Remington, Winchester, right? That's the order I like to have them in here. Well, actually, now that I'm putting them in like that, they're going in backwards. That's okay. Do they go in? Are they going to go in for me? Nice. There's my box set. What else? Yeah, so we were looking into what Remington was doing around that time. Just a little peek at what was going on with Remington. But what I really want to take a look at next is, so Winchester was trying to come up with an auto-loading shotgun, and they were really stumbling over that with 3 different models. By the time they came out with the Model 50, though, it was okay. Like, they got on track with that. So, where were they going with the semi-auto rifle? area. What were they looking at, back then around that time? They kind of got the auto-loading shotgun under their belt with the Model 50. And I started wondering, like, hey, what was really going on with semi-auto rifles? I don't have one, so let me take a look around and see what was going on. And found out some interesting stuff. Made an interesting purchase. And we will be back with you soon to take a look at exactly what that was. And this one's really going to interest you guys. So yeah, from the book front, we got a lot to read until that stuff all arrives. And until then, I highly recommend these NRA books. Let me tell you, they're awesome. I'm really having a lot of fun looking through them and reading them. And, you think sometimes you say, like, how many times can you read about the same damn guns? You know what I mean? But it's like, let me tell you, when you find a series of books or just the way they're orientated in the end and the information they have to offer, definitely possible. But I'm telling you, I got a ton of books, and if I was gonna have anything, it would be like a set of these for somebody that's a collector or into this older stuff. Somebody that's into older guns, you dabble around, but somebody that's into them or whatever, like, you don't always have to spend a lot of money for a good gift. If you could find these online or whatever, maybe $10 a piece or something like that, you get a nice set of these or whatever. All right, for $20, a gift to somebody that could be, this would be the greatest thing the guy ever got for Christmas. Christmas is coming, so I'm not an NRA shill. I'm just saying, believe me, they're not going to be making any more money off books that were from the 60s or 70s. You know what I mean? They've made their money on these already, and they've moved on. But yeah, I love them, and give them a 9.75 on a scale of 1 to 10. How's that? All right, y'all. Good talking to you again, and we got some stuff on the way. Trust me. I'm not turning my back on you guys just yet. We'll be back soon with some cool stuff. See y'all later.
Yes.